Assalamualaikum and a very good day to everyone. Okay, for this session, I will proceed with my lecture on chapter 6, and this chapter 6 is about business entities, right? For your information, in the entrepreneurship world, right, there are several business entities can be registered under SSM, which is Suruhanjaya Syarikat Malaysia, right? So before that, let us have a look on the learning objectives, right, or learning outcomes. Right, first and foremost is when we have finished this chapter, right, each and every one of you will be able to identify common business entities in Malaysia, and the second one is to describe the advantages and disadvantages of each business entities. And for your informations, right, the business entities that the type of business entities that we will cover for this chapter is sole proprietorship. We also have partnership and also companies, right? Under companies, there are two type of companies, which is private limited companies, and another one is public limited companies. After this, I will explain more on that, right? And then the third outcomes is to elaborate the procedure to register, renew, change business particulars, and termination a business. So each type of business need to be registered under SSM. Like I mentioned just now, SSM stands for Suruhanjaya Syarikat Malaysia, and then there are procedures and also requirements need to be fulfilled if we want to register our business. Then for the introductions, right? An ongoing business that is based on profit making must be officially registered. So of course, any business, the main objective or the main aims is to make profits. So any profit making activities need to be registered. And then the Companies Commission of Malaysia, or commonly known as Suruhanjaya Syarikat Malaysia, manages and govern the establishment and registration of a business. So everything need to be registered under Suruhanjaya Syarikat Malaysia, which is SSM lah. And then every documentations, legal documentations such as license, business license, what else, cash flowing in, cash flowing out need to be recorded, and then need to be submitted to this SSM once you have gained profits every year, right? So at the end of the year, you need to submit all the documentations that being required by this SSM to be submitted, right? And then SSM is a statutory body under the Ministry of Domestic Trade and Consumer Affairs that is given the power to regulate the establishment to abolishment of a business. So meaning to say here, SSM have the authority or have the power, right? Have the power to make any regulations that need to be obeyed by any companies or organizations that running their business operations. And at the same time, these SSM also have the power to stop or to terminate any business that against the law or against the rules and regulations that have been set by this SSM. Right, and then now the first thing that we need to know is how to register a business, right? Okay, it is similar like what have you guys done before, right? For your assignments, right? Of course, for your assignments, I mean your assignment one, your first assignment that you need to do or to come out with a business, which is under the business opportunity punya assignments, right? So one of the requirement is you need to register your business under what we call it, my ENT, my entrepreneurship ataupun Masmed Youth Entrepreneurship portal, right? So same goes to actual business or actual business operations lah. So these are the 4 acts that can be used to register your business, right? The first one is Business Registration Act 1956, Amendment 1978. Amendment maksudnya di sini adalah pindaan lah, right? Of course, as we know, any acts, any laws or rules and regulations, sometimes it's need to be amended according to the situations, according to the suitability of the technology that have been applied by our country, right? Then another one is Companies Act 2016. Right, under this Companies Act, we will cover two type of business entities, right? And then another one is Cooperative Act 1948, and then last one is Parliamentary Act or State Government Enactment. Right. And then for your informations for this chapter, which is chapter 6, we will only cover two of the act, which is Business Registration Act 1956, Amendment 1978, and another one is Companies Act 2016. So only two that we're going to focus for this chapter, right? Alright, the first one, we look into the Business Registration Act 1956, Amendment 1978. So this one will cover on the sole proprietorship and partnerships. So meaning to say two type ataupun two business entities that registered under sole proprietorship and partnership will be monitored or will be guided by this Business Registration Act 1956, right? Sole proprietorship, kalau kita tafsirkan di dalam bahasa Melayu, maksudnya adalah milikan tunggal lah. So for sure, the owner of this business is only one, right? One person that will own this business lah, sole proprietorship. And for partnerships, right? It will be owned, atau this business will be registered under two names or more than two names. Okay. And other than Business Registration Act, we also have Companies Act 2016. Right, we have limited company by guarantee, and then another one is a limited company by share. So for this limited company by share, for this company acts, we only cover limited company by share only, which is the second point lah, right here, limited company by share. And for limited company by share, for this chapter, we only cover private limited company and public limited company. So I will not touching on the foreign owned company for this chapter, all right? And then the last one that categorized under this Company Act 2016 is unlimited company. So meaning to say unlimited company also can be registered under this Company Act 2016. And I would like to remind again, right, I will only focus on public limited company and private limited company under the Companies Act 2016. The rest of it just for your general knowledge, right? Now we look into the sole proprietorship, right? In Section 4, Business Registration Act 1956, sole proprietorship is defined as a business other than the business registered under the Company Act 2016, business managed by the government or any incorporated public bodies, organizations registered or exempted under any written law that enforce in the regards and with organizational registration, or a cooperative company, business that stands as an ongoing of any profession, established, owned, financially funded and managed by only one individual. So meaning to say this sole proprietorship, right, need to be registered under one individual. It's not only individual as personal individual, but also one entities only. And for example, like what have been mentioned here, right? Business managed by the government or any incorporated public bodies, meaning to say business that only managed by one government only. For example, like Petros, can we have Petros, right? Petros, which is Petroleum Sarawak, and then this Petros is managed by our state government, all right, state government of Sarawak, so nothing to do with federal government. So I mean to say this Petros is also can be considered as sole proprietorship business, right? And then these are the advantages and disadvantages of having this sole proprietorship business, right? The advantage, one of the advantages is established or terminated easily with few formalities. So there's, the documentation is not that complicated, and then it is easily to be terminated or to be established because only one person or only one organization, just like now state government, right? State government have full authority to make a decision to establish the Petros or to terminate these Petros, right? They doesn't have to refer to federal government, right, in order to establish or terminate the business, right? So that is why it is easy for this sole proprietorship business owner to establish or to terminate their business, right? And then startup cost small, right? This one is for personal or for the individual part, right? Because to start this sole proprietorship is not that complicated, and then the fee, right, to open up or to kickstart this business is not that high, right? The cost, right? Then full management and own decisions. So whatever decisions you can do it by yourself, right? Doesn't need to have any reference, right, from uh, outsiders or any entities such as federal government just now, right? And then declare personal tax return, right? So personal tax return meaning to say tax redemption. So whatever you purchase, right? You purchase, and then that items or that things or stuff is entitled, right, for you to have the tax redemption ataupun pengecualian cukai lah kalau dalam bahasa Melayunya, right? So you can declare, and then you can claim for the tax lah that you have paid before, right? And creative directions, you have the creativity, and you have your own creativity in terms of giving ideas, in terms of the design of the logos, in terms of what interior design of your premises, right? So you have your own directions, and then you can use your own creativity, right, in order to make any amendments or any modification on your business. Okay, in terms of business structure, business plan, you have full authority ataupun full rights to do any changes on that, right? And then more flexibility, it is similar to creative direction just now, right? Maksudnya di sini kan more flexibility in terms of business operations. Then you can set your own business operation. If you want to operate your business 24/7 also can, right? For example, like you have online shop, of course your business operations will run 24/7, right? And for physical businesses or physical business activities, right, you can run from 10 a.m. or 10 p.m. or any hours of operations that you prefer, right? And then reap profits alone. You can enjoy your profit on your own. All the profits that you gain, you will get it and you will enjoy it by your own, right? You do not need to share with anyone else, right? And then for the disadvantages, we have 5 disadvantages in sole proprietorship business entity. First one is difficulty in raising capital. All right, raising capital is a bit difficult because it depends on your personal financial health as well, right? For example, before this you have a lot of loan, right? Personal loan, that maybe it is difficult for you. It will be difficult for you to apply another loan like a business loan, right? In order for you to run or to kickstart a business, right? Of course, you need to use your own money. Maybe you can borrow it from your family, so it will be a bit difficult because maybe your own money and the money that you borrowed from your family is have a limited amount for you to run your business, right? And the second one is lifespan of business depends on the business owner, right? Lifespan ni maksudnya jangka hayat lah, right? Jangka hayat of the business, right, depends atau berdasarkan the business owner itself. So if the business owner orang meninggal dunia, right, passed away, and then there's no there's no family members that will inherit the business, or the family members like children's or grandson or granddaughter doesn't have any interest to continue the business, so maybe the business will be stopped once the original owner of the business have passed away. Okay, so it depends, really depends on the business owner itself. Okay, and then the personal liability, this one is tanggungan. So everything and every loan or ataupun debt that have been recorded, right, need to be paid by the owner itself. So let's say the owner doesn't have any money, right? I mean, any money to pay his debt or to pay the company debt. So it, the owner of the business have the high probability of his um, individual properties to be seized. So meaning to say, the owner of the business personal belongings or personal property like house, right, cars can be seized ataupun disita lah dalam bahasa Melayunya, disita dan akan di auction ataupun dilelong, dan with this money that comes from the auctions, right, will be used to pay the debt. So apa-apa benda kan tidak kisahlah, personal belongings, personal stuff, personal properties, right, personal assets will be seized by the bank and will be used, right, the money will be used to pay, right, to pay the loan, right. And then next one is limited capabilities. Capabilities ni maksudnya keupayaan ataupun what do we say, the skills, what the skills will be very limited, because the business owner maybe he only have the skills on financial kan, managing the financial only, but in terms of marketing, in terms of sales, doing sales, promoting the business, promoting the products, right, the owner doesn't have that skills, so the skills will be limited, and then he or she need to hire someone that have that kind of capabilities, right. Then last one, born loss alone. So apa-apa kerugian, the losses need to bear alone by the company ataupun business owner. Okay, done with sole proprietorship. Now we proceed with partnership, right? Partnership business entities, right? In Section 3 Partnership Act 1961, partnership is the relation that subsists between person carrying a business in common with a view of profit, with the number of partners which is from 2 to 20 individuals. So meaning to say, right, if you want to register your business under partnership category, you need to have at least two name, right? At least two names or two individuals that register kan for this type of business entity, which is partnership, right? And partnership business is often managed together with partners, and financing sources or capital are funded by the same partners, and total contribution of funding is agreed upon by all partners. So whatever agreement that you make with your friends, right? For example, like Amy Mirzana, maybe Amy Mirzana, April, and also Ellie, right? These three ladies, right, want to open up a business and want to register their business under partnership business entity. So I mean to say, whatever sources they need to fund it together. Bapa Amy Mirzana maybe comes out with 100k, right? Maybe Ellie come out with 150k, and then April maybe come out with 200k, and let's say, right, the number or the amount of funds that been contributed by these three ladies is different, right? Amy 100 saja, 100k, and then Ellie is 150k, and April is 200k, for example. So maybe in terms of profit, April will get more profit, right, from it, because Ellie have contributed 200k, which is the highest amount among these three ladies, right? So it depends on the agreement that have been agreed, right, by this company owner, right? Then rights, responsibilities, and even liability are shared with all partners. So whatever liabilities, right, responsibilities need to be shared by all the partners. Not tanggungan, apa-apa hutang, right, everyone must be responsible of it. Kan let's say company ada hutang, so everyone kan, each of these three ladies tadi kan need to sit down together, discuss together, and then come up with a solution in order to pay any debts or to overcome any troubles that have been faced by the company. And these the advantages and disadvantages of this partnership business entities category, right? First one is the advantage is startup cost is small, right? Similar like sole proprietorship, and then personal tax return. So each of the company members, right, like Ellie, Mirzana, and also April, they can claim, right, their tax exemption whatever they have purchased, And for your information, tax redemption ataupun tax exemption, kan pengecualian cukai tu, ni ada beberapa barangan ataupun benda yang you guys beli, right, which entitle you to get the tax refund lah, right? For example, like any gadget that you guys use for your lifestyle, daily life, right? For example, like laptop, right, tablet, right, smartphones, or any fitness equipments like running shoes, right, apa dumbbell ke, barbell ke. So ni ada kategorinya, so you can read it by your own, you can google it, and then you can check the list of items that you are entitled to claim for tax refund. So this kind of tax refund, the company owners that run their business under partnership, they also can claim for this tax refund individually, right? And then distribution of profits shared between partners. Semua orang dah dapat keuntungan kan, mengikut the amount that they are entitled of, kan, according to agreement that they have made before. So maybe macam tadi lah, Amy Rizana maybe will get 25%, right? Maybe Ellie maybe will get 30%, and then the rest of the profit will belongs to April, kan, because April is the largest contributor of funds, right, in order to open up this business, for example lah, right? It depends on the agreement itself, right? And then business can be established or terminated easily, lebih kurang macam sole proprietorship tadi, right? And then management is more efficient, right? More skills. So mean to say that Ellie maybe she is good, and in terms of calculation, atau in terms of talking other languages like Mandarin, right? Maybe Ellie can be her skill can be utilized, right? Can be utilized in marketing part, right? Maybe she can do like a TikTok live, right? Talking in Mandarin to the target audience, or to the potential customers, right? Maybe she can also talk in 3 different languages. She can talk in Malay, she also can talk in English and Mandarin at the same time while she are doing any videos atau TikTok live lah, kan, online, right? And then April is good in calculations. Maybe April will manage the financial department punya staff lah, right? And then Amy Mirzana maybe good in PR, maybe really good in public relations, making friends ataupun create networking with other organizations like bank. Bank memang perlu lah mula networking, because as a company you will need bank, right, in order for you to apply loan, right, to get some funds in order for you to support your businesses, right? So skills, there are variety of skills, because each of the members have different type of skills, and they have their own specialties that they can combine it, that can help in making the company become a strong company. Okay. And then effective decision making. These are discussion. Effective decision making. So I mean to say, each of the members they have their own ideas, right? They have their own way of thinking. So when they face any problems, or when they would like to come up with new ideas, right, they will sit together, and then they will blast their ideas, and then these ideas they will listed the ideas, and then they will brainstorm again, and then they will select the best ideas and for the company to make any improvement in their business operations, right? And then now we will look into the disadvantages of this partnership part, right? First is raising capital easier. Why you can raise capital easier? Because each of the team members, they can make, right, any loan. Kan maybe Amy Mirzana akan mula loan, dia pun personal loan, and then Ellie pun boleh mula personal loan yang pun, and then another person which is April, and dia pun boleh mula personal loan, and then they will combine this personal loan into one funds, that they will use this funds ataupun money that they get from the bank loan tadi to expand their business or to kickstart their business, right? And then apa lagi? Liability unlimited. Maksudnya unlimited tu tidak ada limit lah dia punya tanggungan, right? Dia bagi crisis or risk between partners highest. Right? Crisis, risk between partners highest, because some of the partners though, especially when the business face any downfall, right, kerugian, losses, ataupun any problems occurred kan during they are running the business, akan ada berlakunya crisis, right? Crisis kan seorang pointing fingers yang dah kau lah ya dek, aku dah ada idea yang si bagus, tapi kita orang tu mau jual nak proceed with the idea. So look, what we have faced right now, dah rugi dah kita tu kan, kita pun investor pun dah lari juga banyak. So it will the possibility or the probability to have crisis with the team partners or the company members will be high, alright. And then lifespan of business depends on the business partners. Let's say business partners, one of the business partners doesn't agree, right, to continue with the business. So it will affect the business itself, and then they have to restructure the business plan and everything lah, macam-macam lah. Need to be sometimes, right, if the situation is become serious ataupun worse, this business need to be stopped. Alright, because according to what have been registered under SSM tadi kan, there are 3 names that have been registered under this partnership kan, Ellie, Amy Mirzana and April. So let's say April dah mau join kan, ataupun nak tarik diri lah, withdraw kan from the business, macam ni lah. In terms of documentation dah siap dapat pakai dah, because there are 3 names that have been registered under this company, right? So mean to say this company need to be stopped atau need to be terminated, and then maybe this like Ellie and Amy Mirzana need to restructure back pun in terms of documentations, alright. They need to register a new one, alright. Then remove the April pun nama tadi, okay. And then shared the last one is shared distribution of loss kan. Every losses that been faced by the company need to be shared by these 3 person tadi, right? These 3 young ladies, young entrepreneurs tadi. So whatever losses can they have to face it together. Senyum, ketawa bersama, menangis bersama. Jangan gelak pada losses dah menghadapi kerugian nak lari. Jangan, right? Need to stay together and then face it together, right? And then this is one of the category under partnership, and we have limited liability partnership, right, introduced by SSM in 2012, but governed by Limited Liability Partnership Act 2012 and LLP Act 2012 under the Act of 743, right? And combines the characteristic of a company and a partnership business, more protection to the shareholders or partners, limited liability and flexibility in the partnership agreement, okay? And then enhance and expand business opportunities for entrepreneurs and professionals, and enable a country to be more competitive in the era of globalization and liberalization. Introduced due to some inherent disadvantages of sole proprietorship and partnership, especially in terms of liability. So as we can see right here, right, let us see on the disadvantages punya part, right? Daripada situ kan, the second point of the disadvantages is liability unlimited. Liability unlimited tu maksudnya tanggungan yang tiada limit. So mean to say, let's say the company have faced any losses, right, and then they have they need to pay the bank loans, right? Tapi duit company dah siap dah nak kurang dah duit company. So maksudnya tanggungan tu perlu ditanggung oleh Amy kan, Ellie dengan April. Mean to say kemungkinan besar ataupun memang perlulah dia punya property in terms of house, apa lagi, cars kah, apa kah, any valuable properties that belongs to these 3 person, right, these 3 company members, right, need to be seized kan, perlu disita dan perlu dijual, need to be sold by the bank so that this money that gain, right, from the selling of their property can be used to pay the loans. Bahayalah, memang agak bahaya kan. Kelak-kelak orang Madah bila ataupun bila menghadapi aja this kind of situation, right, rumah kena sita, kena jual, kena lelong, kena have been auction, kan, uh, where does our family members have to go? Nak rumah kena sita dah macam ni, paksalah sewa rumah ataupun sewa bilik, right? So it will affect the personal life of that particular company members. Okay. Then now we look into the company, right? Under the Company Act 2016, a company is a body that has a legal entity separated from establishing members or the founder. Under the company, as I mentioned in the beginning of my lecture, right? Company, it has two type of companies that we will cover on this chapter 6. Right, the first type of company is private limited company ataupun dikenali sebagai sendirian berhad lah. But in other countries, especially those countries that use English, right, for as datnya pun bahasa pengantar, right, dia akan pakai PLC lah, bukan sendirian berhad. For example, like our neighbor country like Singapore, dia akan pakai PLC. PLC stands for Private Limited Company, right? Sama aja lah, right? Then one of the business entities set up under the Companies Act 1965, and then a legal entity and its identity is separate from the identity of the company's members. So company je. Dia akan mengganggu the company's members pun, assets and any datnya pun loans ataupun any debts that have been faced, right, by the company, right, does not have anything to do with the company's members pun personal life, right? So maksudnya datnya pun rumah siap perlu disita lah, because everything can need to be settled by the company itself, because it is registered under private limited company pun business entity. Okay. And then members between 2 to 50 members, so maximum 50 members, right, for these private limited companies. And then users Sdn Bhd or SDN DHD at the end of the company's name. So memang this is the compulsory requirement lah, yang perlu register atau mendaftar kan, dengan menggunakan Sdn Bhd ataupun SDN DHD dekat belakang nama company-nya, right? For example, like Amy, April and Ellie tadi. Amy Pearly, for example, Amy Pearly Sdn Bhd atau April Lee SDN BHD. So that is the name lah, the company. Yang mesti ada Sdn Bhd di belakang, right? And then liability is limited. As I mentioned just now, alright, yang pun liability hanyalah company yang akan tanggung, right? Yang pun beban, kan, apa-apa beban, apa-apa di mana-mana situasi pun. Let's say the company dah memang rugi teruk dah, almost bankrupt, right? The company members pun properties ataupun individual properties like house, cars cannot be touched by the bank, right? So that is the advantage, one of the main advantage of this private limited companies pun business entity lah, right? To be safe, right? And then transfer of shares to other parties through private invitation. So mean to say, any shares, apa-apa saham di bawah company ini tidak boleh dibeli oleh orang luar, atau outsiders that doesn't have receive any jemputan, right, untuk menjadi pemegang saham kepada company ini. So only those invited the individuals atau invited companies only that can purchase the stocks ataupun the shares, right, and the hold the stock lah, become the shareholder of the company, right? Then now we look at the private limited company punya requirements, alright? So these are the requirements. Need to have the memorandum of association, right? Apalagi articles of association, share capitals, right? Apalagi authorized capital, and then paid up, right? Capital, right? Authorized capital tu maksudnya capital yang company sedia ada lah, alright? Atau modal daripada duit company sendiri, right? Then paid up capital tu maksudnya capital atau modal yang telah disumbangkan oleh ahli syarikat, right? Ataupun member-member syarikat itulah, macam tadi lah, Amy, early and also April, let's say that dah mula personal loan, and then they pool, right? They will gather all the monies, and then they will use it to run their business. So that is the meaning of paid up capital, right? And then members of shareholders. So they need to have members of shareholders. So it is quite, quite difficult lah, because, for example, like you open up a new company, is there any investors who like to invest ataupun become the shareholders of your company? Ada mungkin sedikit lah, memang tipis lah untuk mendapatkan number of investors in large numbers, right? Because you just start a business and people doesn't really trust kan whether your business can make a lot of profits or not, right? And board of directors, right? And then company secretary. So company secretary also need to be registered under this private limited company. You need to have secretary, macam sole proprietorship and then partnership tadi, no need to have a secretary lah. Tetapi for this private limited company, you need to have this company secretary. And then this another thing, right? The more one of the important thing is that this secretary, right, have been verified by SSM. Meaning to say, Suruhan Jaya Syarikat Malaysia, the SSM, need to see the background of the person that you appointed to become the secretary tadi. One of the requirement is this secretary need to pass all the trainings that have been organised by this SSM. Ini ada sikit sijil lah ataupun license that will be issued by this SSM, right, to make that person eligible or entitled to become the secretary of the company. Okay, and the auditors, maksudnya auditors dalaman dan juga auditor luaran lah, untuk menyemak ataupun to check, right, the integrity, especially in terms of calculation, in terms of cash flowing it, the profits that they gain, right, cash flowing out, the money that they have spent, right? Auditor kena check semuanya, right, in terms of documentations, especially legal documentations. Alright, so that is why we need to have internal auditors. Ataupun this private limited company need to have internal auditors, and then another one is external auditors. So external auditors, they can appoint any external organizations lah, right, to check banyak pun documents, right? And then registered office, yang pun premise, they need to have this premise, and then this office need to be registered legally. So the office need to be checked lah, yang pun layout, right, yang pun buildings, the buildings is it safe or not, right? So semuanya kena check and then need to be registered, right? And then company seal tak maksudnya stamp, chop, right? A chop company need to have the name of the company on it, and then also the business registration number as well need to be included, right, on the seal ataupun on the stamp itself, chop tadi, right? Not only company name but also company business registration number. Okay, then last one is the authorization letter. Alright, now we look into the advantages and disadvantages of having this private limited company. First one, for the advantages, right? Credit can be easily obtained. Why? Because, right? Because, right, you have several number of company members, and then this is a private limited company, right? So that is why credit can be easily obtained. Kan hutang-hutang ataupun loan senang untuk kamu apply, kan, because you have 3 ataupun more than 3, kan, because the maximum numbers that I see just now, right, 2 to 50 members. So let's say you have 20 members. Wah, berapa banyak dah you member yang boleh sumbangkan ataupun yang boleh apply for loans, right, to apply it from any banks lah, right? And then the banks will also have a high trust, right, on you, because you have a lot of members. Then each of the members maybe yang pun tanggungan, si banyak ni, so you will have harapan yang cerah lah untuk dapatkan kredit ataupun loan anda diluluskan oleh pihak bank, right? Then second one, members liability is limited based on the debt made by the company only. Macam saya dah tadi, any tanggungan ataupun liability all right, will be bared or will be covered by the company only. It will not touch on your personal belongings or your personal properties lah. And the bank doesn't have any authority or rights to seize your personal assets, right, or properties. And then third one, the management is more systematic and assisted by a group workers paid according to skills and capabilities to manage the company. Alright, and the livelihood of the company is infinite until it is dissolved, and any death, retirements, members withdrawal does not give any effects on the existence of the company, and the company will be operations as usual. Apa-apa kematian, alright, ataupun your team members ataupun company members tarik diri kah, withdraw kan, daripada the business, right, the business can run as usual, right. Macam tadi saya dapat yang this one tadi, right, partnership susah sikit lah, right. Okay, then next one is company's capital and property belongs to the company only and not to the members shareholders. Apa-apa property that belongs to the company is belongs to the company only. Right, you doesn't have any rights. Mana pinjam dulu 200,000, 20,000 nak pakai aku dam pergi ke bisnes lain, si boleh. You cannot touch any money, right, that belongs to the company. Kan whatever profits that have been gained by the company will be kept under the company punya financial documentations, right. You doesn't have any rights to touch atau to use the money for your own personal matters, right. And then now we look into the disadvantages of this private limited company, right. The first one is cost of a company establishment is high, which covers registration fee, legal fees, and company operation fees. So there's a lot of fees that need to be paid, right, if you registered your business under this private limited company, right. Apalagi, annual company tax is compulsory to be paid to the government in comparison to no tax imposed to sole proprietorship and partnership. So company tax, right, you need to pay. And there is no tax exemption that you can claim from it. Macam tadi sole proprietorship, and another one is partnership, right. For sole proprietorship milikan tunggal, dan juga partnership you can claim atau you can declare for tax exemption, but for this private limited company cannot. Alright, and then your company need to pay, right, tax atau company tax to the government. Right, then the third one, companies' information such as companies' owners' information, companies' operations and finances are not discreet, for it is made available to all members and shareholders. So apa-apa juga maklumat, right, maklumat berkenaan dengan company kamu, when you registered your company or business under this private limited company, right, kat nama kamu, company members, berapa orang ada, and then the name of each company members pun akan tercatat dalam SSM punya documents. And then what else, your financial health of the company, berapa banyak shareholders yang you ada, right, whether your company have make a good money or not, akan tercatat dekat SSM punya documents. And then these documents can be retrieved by all the members that registered with you to open up this company. And then same goes to the shareholders, because shareholders, some of them, they invest a lot of monies to buy the stocks, and then of course they have the rights to see kan whether the company is doing well or not. So agak berbahaya jugalah, right. So we need to say the maklumat, information about the company is not that confidential lah, right. And then number 4, creditors also have the rights to know the financial states of the company. So this one is like creditors, maksudnya pemiutang. Pemiutang yang memberi hutang lah. For example, like bank, kan SME bank, kasih kisah lah. Whatever banks that you applied kan for a loan, kan, in order for you to run your business, these banks need and have the rights atau have the authority to know your financial stats of the company. So macam saya tadi lah, right? SSM have all the records, and then this can whatever can, let's say shareholders kah, banks kah, or any type of creditors that would like to have informations about your company, they can contact this SSM, and then what they need to do is they need to fill a form, and then they need to pay some amount of money in order for them to request and retrieve the company information just now, right? Then last one, company information is publicly obtainable. Publicly meaning to say outsiders, bukan saja shareholders. Kerana orang luar yang doesn't have any relations to your business also have the rights, atau have the access, right, to request from SSM to get your company's informations. Kan bahaya, right? And next, public limited company, right? Berhad. Kan users berhad kan at the end of the company's name, members without any maximum limits, kan doesn't have any maximum, right? Berapa ratus pun kisah lah, right? Then raise capital through public invitation for monetary depository, right? Public invitation for monetary. So selalunya public limited company tu akan get the monies from any people atau public people lah, right? Some of it lah. Then of course this public yang that contribute in helping to raise the fund, especially in terms of capital tadi, they will get their own benefits lah from that that need to be paid by the company lah, right? And then can be listed at Malaysia stock market, Bursa Saham Malaysia. So mean to say macam tadi, macam private limited company lain kan, this one apa-apa saham yang mereka ada, orang yang dijemput sahaja berhak ataupun boleh membeli saham tersebut. But for this public limited company, kan it is open to all. Any outsiders, strangers also can buy the stocks and invest, right? Do investment with this company lah, right? And then director's age must not be over 70 years old. 70 years old and below only can become the directors of this company. Unless that person approved by verification of his or her credibility. So maksudnya, if that person's pun age, right, is over 70 years old, for example like 75 years old, and then he or she still want to be the director of the company, and then this individu yang 75 years old tadi need to go to the clinic ataupun hospital and then need to get clarification from the doctors, kan? Mean to say doctors have do all the checkups, full body checkups, in terms of mentals, in terms of physicals. These doctors akan ada, okay, this person still capable to become the directors and to make a decision, for example. So they need to have these letters from the doctors that telling all the members of the companies that they telling this person is still capable to do a job, right, as a director. And then this the difference between these four type of business entities tadi. Alright, so this one I think you can read by your own, right, later on the slides. Okay, I think that's all for chapter 6. Right, so in summary, you need to plan properly, kan, which type of business ataupun business entities that you want to register for, right? Macam tadi we have four, kan? We have four, which is sole proprietorship, and then partnership, and then we also have private limited companies, and then last one is public companies. Public limited companies, right? Sole proprietorship, partnership, private limited company, and last one is public limited company. So you need to know kan what the requirements kan in order for you to register kan the one that you choose. So you need to check, right? You need to check how many persons that you want to bring in order for you to open up the business, right? Then you need to know the documentations that you need to have, right, in order for you to register and on your selected business entities atau on your under the preferred business entities that you like. Okay, I think that's all for this chapter 6. Thank you so much for your attentions, and we will meet again on chapter 7 lecture. Right, I think that's all. Thank you so much and have a nice day.